Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now we will try to look into the details of usage of articles. I had told you that when there is any countable noun, and generally countable nouns are generally, I'm not saying always, generally it happens that common nouns are having these two types as countable or uncountable generally. So a common noun, especially a countable noun, in its singular form requires an article before it. But when it is in plural form, then it is dependent upon this thing, either we want to particularize it or not. Because if we want to particularize it, we want to specify it, only then we will use the before it, otherwise no other article will be used before it. See, I will give you an example here. I saw a snake. Snake, a snake, it means any snake in the jungle. I saw a snake. Snake is countable, a separate entity, and it is present here in singular form, so definitely we will place a, an, or the before it. It cannot be written without article. So I saw a snake. A snake means one snake. A snake means it's countable noun. A snake means it can be any snake. It's not specified that which snake. Generally, here a snake is referred. I saw a snake. I saw snakes in a zoo. Snakes. It's again, snake is countable noun. Snakes, it is its plural form. We are not going to specify. That we are not going to specify those snakes. That is the reason we are not placing the before it. And because it's countable plural form, we cannot place a before it. Countable, definitely when anything is plural we will not place a or an, but when we don't want to specify anything, it means even we will not place the before it. I saw snakes in a zoo. But when I will repeat the same thing, and if I saw the same snake again, then we will use the before it, because it is that specific snake that was already seen by me. Then I will, what how will I convey the same thing? I have seen the snake again, the same snake that I had seen before, I saw it again. Then we will place the before it. When I will refer to the snake for the second time, then I will use the with it. I have seen the snake again. So the is specifying, the is actually telling that snake is the same, or the snake is referred again. I have seen the snakes again before leaving the zoo. Again, in this sentence also, it is actually conveyed that first I have seen the snakes in a zoo for the very first time, and when this for the second time I saw the snakes, then I will use the with it, because already I had mentioned snakes, already I had seen snakes. Now it's second time, and those snakes are specific ones, the same ones that I had seen before. Now that is why I'm using the with it. Okay, so this is how the is used only for those things which are meant to be specified. Second thing, a or an, how to use it, when to use it, when to use a, when to use an. I had told you, a is placed before those words which start with consonant sounds, and an is placed before those words, those nouns those countable singular nouns which start with vowel sounds. University, union, useful book, yeah, university, yeah, union, useful, yeah, yeah. Yeah is the sound, and yeah sound is consonant sound. That is the reason we don't place n before it. $1 note. V. V is the sound with which it's starting, and V is consonant sound. Although it's starting with O, which is taken as vowel in English language, but even then its sound is not vowel. V is not vowel sound. That is the reason we are placing here a. One man army. V. One. V is the sound with which one is starting. So starting sound, beginning sound is consonant sound. That is why we place a before it. An ma. Ma. A. A is the word with which ma is starting. So a is vowel sound. That is why we write an ma. But b, b, b is the beginning sound of this noun. B. Name of ba is the name of the degree. That is why it's taken as noun. B is the beginning sound of ba. So that is the reason we are placing a before it. LLB and LLB. A, LLB, a is the beginning sound. A is vowel sound. That is why we write and before it. A BSc. BSc, B is the beginning sound. That is why we place a before it. Thank you. Alright. The third rule. See, I had conveyed it to you already that it depends that which sense we are giving to any noun. Either we are taking it in countable sense or uncountable sense. Sometimes we take common nouns or proper nouns alternative in alternative sense. It means sometimes we take common noun as proper noun, sometimes we take proper noun even as common noun. For example, see, Shakespeare is a specific person. William Shakespeare, he was a writer in 16th century during Renaissance period in England. He used to write dramas. He was a great dramatist who wrote exceptional kind of writings, because of which he is world famous. He's a renowned writer. He is acclaimed, he is admired for his work, and even his name is used as uh, an idiomatic word when we want to refer to perfection of any individual. We use that particular or the proper name of William Shakespeare for that common person as a metaphor in order to explain that how much perfect this person is, that he is just a Shakespeare. Here he thinks he's a Shakespeare. Here is a sentence that anyone is behaving in such a way as if he's a Shakespeare. I is placed before it. Why? Shakespeare is a single person. Here Shakespeare is not proper noun, not specific one. Rather, we are using this word for a common person, and that common person is singular, countable. That is the reason we are placing here a, not the. The Shakespeare hota bhi nahi hai. We use the not before the specific names. Shakespeare, Milton, Saira, Samra. We don't use the before it. Specific names, when we give to anything, we don't use the before it. But when we use those proper nouns or those specific names in order to implement those names to common people, and if those common ones are countable singular noun, we may use a before it. He seems to be an Australian. Now, Australian is a specific identity, okay? And we are implementing that specific identity to any common man, and that common man, he is singular, countable person. So that is the reason we are placing indefinite article before an Australian. And because Australian is starting with a sound, that is why we are using an. Got it or not? Although Australia is proper noun, although Australian are specific people, but even then, specific name is given to he who is not Australian, who is common, not that specific Australian, but it is implemented to common noun. That is the reason we place indefinite article before it. What I want to say that indefinite article is used for common ones, not for the specific things. Here Australian is used, which is specific, but even then indefinite article is placed because Australian is applied actually to he, and he is not proper one. He's a common man, he's not specific um, nationality holder who may be really called Australian. So this is how some proper names, some proper terms may be applied to common one, common people, common places, common thing, and when they are applied to common things, they those proper nouns are treated as common nouns. Thank you. Next rule. Sometimes indefinite articles are used to refer to the number. See, when we are only talking about the number, we want to say I have a car. It doesn't mean I'm saying that it's a general car. Actually, I just want to mention its number. Then one or two or three. When it is one, we use a. When I want to identify how many hours it is taking to go 50 miles, and I want to point out that it's only a single hour, then I may use a. It means indefinite article a or an can also be used to tell the number of anything. An or, 1 or. We don't use one, we use a or an. Or is beginning with a vowel sound. That is the reason we have not used here a but an. Now it's very important. Remember this rule. Remember this rule. He's a good boy. Good boy. He. This boy is he. And here good is further qualifying boy. And we also know that about whom good boy is getting used. So it is a specific good boy. Who is he? He. But even then we are using a before it. So when we are using descriptive adjectives before it, we place indefinite articles. Although we may say he is the good boy. He's the good boy. Why the? Because that good boy is specific boy about whom we are talking. But even then we place a. That is the correct usage of article. We use a. Why? Because descriptive adjective is used before boy, and before descriptive adjective we need to place a. That's the rule. That's the rule. You need to remember, when you use descriptive adjective before any noun, you need to place article of indefinite nature, a or an. You cannot write the. What a nice car. Here, nice is again qualifying car. It's a descriptive adjective which is telling uh, the quality of the car. Before it, we cannot say what the nice car. No, we say what a nice car. Why a? Because descriptive adjective is placed before noun, so we cannot use the. Now, we use a few, a little, a lot of, a most, and important. So there are some determiners determiners uh, that qualify nouns. In English language, many times we use a before them. Okay. See a few, a little, a lot of, a most, many, a bit. These are called determiners. Before determiners, we place indefinite articles. Uh, in language, uh, we not means the natives of that language speak different things that becomes a trend, and that trend is taken as rule. So that is what a few, a little, a lot of, a most is. And if we have not few, little, lot, or most, then we have many. When we use the word many as a determiner, then we place a before many, sorry, after many. Many a people, many a thousand, many a friends I have. A is placed after many, but when we are using few, little, then a is placed before few, little, lot, or most, etc. Thank you.